All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Yoga. Um, we just finished the full moon yesterday, so I thought I would change my background, but I'm noticing I'm wearing all black, and I hope I show up. I hope you can see me, but I think it'll be okay. So we have a really fun flow, similar to what we did on Tuesday. So um, enjoy. So go ahead and make your way onto your mat if you're not there already. We don't really need any props for today, but make sure you bring them next week because we will begin to integrate them into our practice. So make your way onto your mat and just get settled into a nice easy seat, which is basically crisscross applesauce. Um, and just kind of really root down, settle down into your mat. See if you can just be intentional about leaving anything you don't want to bring to your practice today. Just leaving it off your mat, leaving it outside your room, allowing it not to be with you when you practice today. And we'll go ahead and begin with our heart and belly breath. So if you recall from Tuesday, placing your one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest or your heart. And as you breathe in, you're going to fill your belly and then fill your chest with air. And then as you breathe out, you're going to release your chest and then release your belly back down. It's going to continue, and you can use the visual with your hand as you breathe in, pulling that air up, and then as you breathe out, pushing it back down. So whatever helps you really fully breathe into your belly and your chest is what we're going for here. So let's do a few rounds together, and then I'll let you do a few on your own. So breathing in, fill your belly, fill your chest. Breathe out, release your chest, and then your belly. Breathing in, fill your belly, and then your chest. And breathing out, release your chest, and release your belly. Let's go ahead and do 3 of those on our own, at your own pace. And when you're done with that third breath, just releasing your hands back down to your knees, closing your eyes gently. You're gazing downward at the floor. Return your breath to its normal breathing pattern. We'll just go ahead and take a mindful moment here and just begin to notice your body, physical bodies. Maybe even scan from your feet to your head. Just notice anything that might need a little bit of extra love or attention today as we practice. Yeah, and we're not trying to change or fix anything about ourselves. We're just allowing and accepting what is happening right now. And we're trying to bring some loving acceptance to our state, our state of being. you like, you can go ahead and check in on your emotions and notice any sort of emotions that might be flowing through you right now. Again, bringing some awareness and acceptance, loving acceptance to our emotional state right now. Not trying to change or judge. If you like to move on to your mental state, noticing what kind of thoughts are running through your mind. Busy, fast, slow, empty type of thought. And again, we're just noticing. Don't want to change, judge in any way. Bringing some loving acceptance to our mental state right now. We'll go ahead and take a nice big deep breath in again, filling your belly, filling your chest, and a nice exhale, releasing all the air from your chest and then your belly. And going ahead and opening our eyes and coming back to the class. Go ahead and begin with our warm up. And as usual, we'll start with our shoulder rolls. You're going to breathe in, shrug your shoulders up, and as you breathe out, you're going to roll them back. Breathing in, shrug your shoulders up, and as you breathe out, roll them back. And just notice your shoulders right now. And notice what they feel like as we introduce some movement. Begin to warm them up. And then we're going to reverse directions, breathing in, shrugging up and rolling those shoulders forward. And last one. Bringing your shoulders down to their neutral position. You're going to take your hands and bring your elbows out to the side. And so your hands are going to come so that one thumb is up and one thumb is down. So your palms are touching. And then you're just going to kind of pull your hands apart and clasp your hands. You're making kind of this like finger fist in front of you where you're kind of grabbing the fingers on the opposite hand. That makes sense, hopefully. And then we're going to go ahead and warm up our shoulders a little bit more. So you're going to lift your right shoulder up and let your left shoulder dip down. And then you're just going to start to kind of pull. Don't actually pull your fingers apart, but kind of pull against and resist the other hand a little bit, allowing to kind of stretch your shoulders, your arms just a bit, and then coming back to center and then switching sides. That left elbow goes up and that right elbow comes down. You're going to pull apart. And then back to center. And then the right elbow comes up. And back to center. And last time this side, left elbow comes up. And then back to center. Release your hand. back down. Place that right hand down next to you. Take your left arm, keeping both hips on the ground, and lift your left arm up and over, really reaching those left fingertips towards that opposite wall, opening up our side body. Breathing into that left side body. And then bringing that left hand back down, planting it down next to you, lifting your right arm up and over, stretching those fingertips over to the opposite side, opening up your right side body. And then releasing that right hand back down, breathing in both arms, come straight up towards the sky. As you breathe out, twisting over to the right, one hand in front, one hand behind. And then breathing in, back to center. Breathing out, twisting over to the left, one hand in front, one hand behind. And then breathing in, back to center, and just continue at your own pace. Just a few twists, warming up our spine. Let's do one more on each side. And then back to center. Bringing your arms back down beside you. We're going to come up into our tabletop position here. Knees are under hips, wrists are under shoulders. And a few rounds of our cat-cow here. So breathing in, dipping your belly button down towards the ground and looking up. And then breathing out, curling your back up towards the sky and looking at your legs. And then breathing in, dipping your belly button, looking up. And then breathing out, curling your spine up and looking back. And just continue at your own pace. Just a few rounds of cat-cow. Let's do one more full round. And from here, from your tabletop position, you take your hips and you're going to lean one hip towards the right and start to make circles. So and then you're going to push your hips back and then come around to the left and just making these kind of intuitive circles with your hips in one direction. Just whatever feels good, warming them up. Just listening and paying attention to what they might need. And then pausing and going the opposite direction. And then coming back to your tabletop, starting with your right leg. You're going to reach your right leg straight back behind you. And And then as you breathe out, you're going to curl your knee forward, almost like you're trying to touch your nose. And you're going to look down and then stretch it back out. And look towards that knee, bring it in like you're trying to bring it in towards your nose. And then stretch it back out. Just a few more, keep going. One more. And then return that right knee back down to your tabletop, and we'll go ahead and switch to the left. So reaching your left leg straight back behind you as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, curling your knee towards you like you're going to touch your nose, and then stretching out, and then curling in, and stretching out, and then curling in. A few more. One more. And then return that left knee back down to your tabletop. You're going to walk your hands forward towards the top of the mat. Curl your toes under. Push yourself up into your first downward facing dog. So your bottom comes up and back. Your heels can be up off the ground. Your knees can be slightly bent. Adjust yourself until you feel that nice stretch down the back of your legs. And a lot of it comes from the hips. So you're going to pull your hips up and back. Allowing for that back side of your body to open. Crown of your head releases towards the ground. A few deep breath cycles here, in and out. And then looking up towards your hands, you're going to step or hop your feet in between your hands. Bending your knees, place your hands down on the mat. And you're going to bend your knees until you can place your hands down on your mat. And then from here, you're going to release the crown of your head down towards the ground. And you're just going to lift up with your hips up towards the sky until you feel that nice stretch down the back of your legs. Here we are in our forward fold. Let's see. Allowing ourselves to get a little deeper. You don't have to fully straighten your legs. Just straighten them until you feel that nice stretch. We're all going to be different. We're all going to have different tightness in our hamstrings. Nice big deep breath in. Raise your arms up to the sky, going all the way up on your tippy toes. Pulling your hips down towards the ground as your fingers stretch up towards the sky. Nice big full body stretch. And then on your next out breath, release your heels down to the ground. Bring your hands to heart center. And just take a mindful moment here. Now that we're standing up, just notice how your body, your heart, your mind feel in this moment. Bring some loving awareness and acceptance to your situation right now. We're going to go ahead and do one full round of our easy sun salutation. So if you've never done this with me before, just follow along as best you can. We're going to do this every class. So hopefully by the end, if you're not already seasoned at it, you will become pretty comfortable in doing it. But if this is your first time, just go ahead and do the best you can. One breath per movement. Just go at your own pace. So let's go ahead and start. Breathing in, raise your arms up. Breathing out, fold forward. Breathing in, left foot steps back. Breathing out, right foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out, plank pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, knees, chest, chin, come down to the mat. Breathe in, shoulders up. Breathe out, down dog. Breathe in, right foot steps forward. Breathe out, left foot steps forward. Breathe in, rise up to mountain pose. Breathe in, rise up. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, right foot steps back. Breathe out, left foot steps back, down dog. Breathe in. Breathe out, plank pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, knees, chest, chin down to the mat. Breathe in, shoulders up. Breathe out, down dog. Breathe in, left foot steps forward. Breathe out, right foot steps forward. Breathe in, rise up. And mountain pose. Nice job. So next week we'll incorporate 2 sun salutations into the beginning of our practice. But for today, we'll go ahead and move into our standing poses. You're going to face your mat, the long edge of your mat. You're going to bring your legs together, hands down at your side, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Breathing in, you're going to lift your right arm up, straight up towards the sky. And you're going to begin to walk your left hand down your leg towards your knee as you lean over to the left. Your right fingers are reaching over towards that left side of the room. Nice big deep breath here. Nice strong core, belly button to spine. And then coming back up to center, releasing that right hand down to your side, and then lifting your left arm straight up. And beginning to walk your right hand down that right leg, leaning over to the right, left fingers to the opposite wall. Belly button to spine. And then coming back up, releasing that left hand back down. You're going to open your legs wider, a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Arms are going to come up like goalposts or cactus arms. And we're going to do a few wide-legged squats here. So with your arms up, fingertips up towards the sky, nice big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, bending your knees, pushing your bottom back towards the back of the room. And then as you breathe in, coming back up. So breathing in, out, bending your knees, pushing your bottom back, and then breathing in, coming back up. See if you can continue to look straight. That'll keep your spine upright. If you do a few more, these wide-legged squats, this is called goddess pose. Or in, the gym, it's also called a wide-legged squat, but I like goddess pose better. One more. And back up. You're going to turn your left foot so that it's facing that short edge of the mat. You can widen your stance a little bit if that feels better for you. But if you look down at your feet, they're making that elongated T. That front leg bends, that back leg stays straight. Arms come straight out to the side and your gaze is out over your left fingers. Here we are in Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Looking down at your knee, make sure your knee is over your ankle. If it's not, you're going to shift your hips forward just a little bit until that knee can come over the ankle. Dropping that right arm down gently to your right leg, lifting your left arm up to the sky. Reverse warrior, nice big deep breath into the front side of that body. And then back down into your warrior 2, stretching your left fingers out over those left toes, releasing your arm down on top of that left leg, and then sweeping your right arm across your body and really reaching those right fingers over to the opposite wall. Breathing here in this extended side angle. And then returning back up to your warrior two. You're gonna windmill your arms down towards that left foot. And you're gonna pivot your right foot so that both feet are facing the same direction. You're always welcome to drop that right knee down to the mat or keep it up. And then nice big deep breath in. You're gonna rise up, straight up into your crescent lunge. We're gonna pause here just for a little bit. So if your right knee is up off the ground, you're gonna pull back with that right heel just a little bit. And that's gonna help open up this right, the front of your right leg. You're gonna bring your hands, actually no, you're gonna bring your hands out to the side. You're gonna begin to twist over to the left so that you're looking out over that left leg. Arms straight out to the sides. Pausing here just for a moment in this twist. You can do it. Use your breath to find your strength. You're going to come back up into your crescent lunge. And from here, you're going to see if you can use the strength in your left leg. You can bring your hands down to your hips. See if you can use the strength in your left leg to begin to step forward, dragging if you need to, that right leg behind you and coming into that stork pose that we did on Tuesday. So balancing there on your left leg, your right leg bent and up. Apparently, this is what a stork looks like. And then, without placing your foot down, if you can always place it down. But the challenge is to then open up into your tree pose from where you're standing. I'm going to turn so you can see, but you don't have to turn. So just moving from your stork pose, just gently opening up into your tree pose. We're going to hold our tree pose here for a moment. You can have your hands at your heart center. You can grow your branches wide. It's just really finding your balance. If you can find a place of stillness. You're going to release that right leg down to the ground. You're going to come back into, you're going to face that long edge of your mat, come back into that wide-legged stance where your feet are a little bit wider than your hips. Breathing in, bring your arms straight out to the side. Breathing out, you're going to push, keep your legs straight and push your bottom back and bring your hands down to the ground, wherever they land. Wide-legged forward fold here. Find a nice wide-legged forward fold. You're going to plant your left hand down under your face, so it's kind of centered down in front of you. And you're going to lift your right arm straight up to the sky, twisting here. Just a few breath cycles. And then bringing your right hand down and planting it underneath your face and lifting your left arm up and twisting to the other side. And then bringing that left hand back down. You're going to pivot that right foot so that it's pointing towards the short edge of your mat. Get your stance as wide as you'd like, and then you're going to rise up into your warrior two on this side. Arms out to the side, gaze out over your right hand, and then check that knee. And if it's not over your ankle, then just shift your hips a little bit forward. Just kind of this like pivot will realign that knee. And then dropping that left arm gently down to the left leg, lifting your right arm straight up, looking up, breathing deep into the front of that body. I think I'm saying that wrong, but you know what I mean. And then coming back down into your warrior two, stretching your right fingers out over those right toes, letting your arm come down to rest on top of your right leg, and then sweeping your left arm across your body and really reaching those left fingers towards that opposite wall. Gaze is forward. Big breath here. And rising back up into your warrior two. You're going to windmill your arms down towards that right foot and pivot your left plank so that it's also facing the same direction in low lunge. Here, always dropping your left knee is always, or your back knee is always an option. And then breathing in, rising up into your crescent lunge. Pausing here for a moment, finding your strength and your center, and seeing if your knee is up off the ground. Seeing if you can pull back a little bit with that left heel. Open up that left leg a little bit more. You can do it. You all are super strong people. Body, heart, mind. The only way you could do the work you do. As you, on your next out breath, twisting your body, opening your arms out to the side, twisting over to the right. You're looking out over that right leg. Holding this twist just for a moment. And then coming back up into your crescent lunge and seeing if you can use a strength from your right leg. Bring your hands to your hips and coming up into that stork pose on this side, pulling the crown of your head up towards the sky, really straightening out your spine. And then when you're ready and you have your balance, seeing if you can open up into your tree pose on this side. And again, you have the option of lifting your foot a little bit higher above your knee. That's available to you. Whatever feels right in your body today. Hands at heart center. You can throw your branches out. And again, finding your center, finding the ease wherever it can be in this pose. It's always our goal. Find the ease when we feel unbalanced. In order to do that, we might need to adjust, right? In yoga and in life, we might need to adjust so that we can regain our balance again. Releasing that left leg back down to the ground. You can go ahead and shake both legs out. Get that excess energy out. You bring your legs together in a standing position. Bring your legs together. We're going to come into a series of chair poses. You can do them with or without the twist, totally up to you. Your legs are together, and you're going to breathe in and sweep your arms up towards the sky. And then on your next out breath, you're going to bend your knees and push your bottom back and down into a chair pose. Bring your belly button to your spine as much as possible. Holding here just for a breath cycle. And then coming back up. Now you can do 2 more rounds of that, or you can do the twist. Bring your hands to the heart center. On your next out breath, bend your knees. So everybody come into your chair pose. And then if you'd like to add the twist, you're going to bring your right elbow over to the outside of your left knee. You can keep your hips aligned and pulling back. And then you're going to rise back up, recenter. And then on your next out breath, you're going to come back into your chair pose. And then you're going to, if you're doing the twist, you're going to twist your left arm out over the outside of your right leg. And then you're going to come back up. Sweep your arms down, bring them down to your side. There's an option here to come into a deep squat. If your knees, hips, any low back do not allow that or are not available for low squat today, just come all the way down onto your bottom. And you can move into either child's pose or butterfly pose, the soles of your feet together, your choice. But for those of you who are going to do the deep squat, nice big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to bend your knees like you're coming into chair pose, but then you're just going to lift your heels up off of the ground and let your bottom come down towards your heels, hands to the ground. And if you are here in this low squat, if you can just breathe some surrender into your hips and your tailbone so that they can just fully relax down towards the ground, fully let go. You're going to rock forward onto your knees. If you were not in the deep squat, you're going to come back up like you're coming into like a tabletop position, but you're going to actually slide all the way down onto your belly. So nice and long on your mat, on your belly, coming to your forearms. Your elbows are just a little bit behind your armpits. And you're going to come all the way up. So the pressure is on your forearms, and you might need to move your elbows forward a little bit. You can stay here. This is Sphinx pose. This is a nice pose. If you want to try back bends and perhaps you have a tender low back, this is a nice supported option. for a back bend. It doesn't go too deep. You can also do like we did on Tuesday and bring your forearms together, clasp your hands, bring them underneath your chin, and then walk your elbows forward just a little bit. And this is actually a really nice supported back bend. Also for anyone who has low back issues, it kind of provides a little bit of traction in that low back, allowing those vertebrae to have some space and kind of open up if they've been compacted. You might try it, and if you're like, nope, still not into back bends, you can just move back into your child's pose, or you can just lay flat on your belly and just take a moment of recalibration. All right, releasing your back bend. Now everybody's going to meet in child's pose. So pushing yourself back up, bringing your big toes together, scooching your knees forward, and then widening your legs, your knees out towards the outer edge of your mat, pushing your bottom towards your heels, bring your forehead down to the mat, really releasing your abdomen, your belly towards the ground. Nice big deep breaths. Just really allowing that belly to fill with air as you breathe in and then release as you breathe out. And rising up, walking your hands back towards you. We're going to roll over gently onto our bottom. We're going to recenter ourselves long ways on the mat. Feet planted, knees bent. And gently grab your knees and just begin to roll back gently onto the mat so that you're laying on your back. And kind of recenter yourself, get yourself comfortable. You're on your back. With your knees bent and your feet on the floor, you're going to take your right leg and you're going to cross your ankle and place it up on top of your left leg, just above the knee. And then you're going to lift your left foot up off the ground, bringing that right leg closer towards you. And you can clasp your hands behind your left leg. Maybe even with your out breath, begin to kind of pull that leg a little bit closer to you. This is a figure four. It's also an alternative to pigeon. So if pigeon is really difficult on your knees or your hips, this is a nice alternative. And we will be doing pigeon in later classes. So if I say come into pigeon and that's not available to you, then you can always come into this figure four position. And it's the same type of stretch. And releasing that left leg back down to the ground, releasing the right leg. We're going to switch sides, bringing that right ankle on top of the left, bring the left ankle on top of the right leg, lifting your right foot up off the ground, clasping your hands behind your right leg, and then using your breath to bring your leg just a little bit closer if that is available. And then releasing that right leg and releasing the left leg. You're gonna walk your heels towards your hands and your hands towards your heels. They don't have to touch, but you're tucking your shoulder blades underneath you, preparing for bridge pose. When you're here, lifting your hips up off of the ground as high as they'll go. You can leave your arms straight down at your sides, or you can clasp your hands underneath your hips, tucking your shoulder blades a little bit further, and this will just kind of deepen the pose a little bit. Pause here just for a few breath cycles. And then releasing your hands, lowering your hips to the ground, stretching your left leg straight out in front of you, hugging your right knee in towards your chest, just giving it a nice good squeeze, maybe even rocking it from side to side. And then when you're ready, gently guiding it across your left hip, keeping both shoulder blades on the ground and releasing into this supine twist. Like I said, it should feel good. If it doesn't, move out of it. And releasing that left leg, or sorry, that right leg back up. Recentering your hips, straightening your right leg out in front of you and hugging that left knee into your chest and rocking it back and forth a little bit. And then gently guiding your left leg across your right hip. Both shoulder blades stay on the ground. Allow gravity to deepen this twist for you, gravity in your breath. Allowing yourself to let go or surrender where you can. And bringing that left leg back up. Centering your hips and preparing yourself for Shavasana. Again, your options are to keep your feet flat on the floor and your knees bent, arms straight down at your side. This is best for anyone who has a low back injury or isn't able to lay down for that amount of time on their back. You can bring your soles of your feet together, let your knees fall out to the side. This is if you want a little bit extra hip opening. If you have a block, you can also do the restorative version of this and bring your blocks underneath your thighs. I'll show you that next time. Or you can straighten your legs out and come into traditional Shavasana. Regardless of your choice, your arms are straight down at your sides. Taking a nice big deep breath in. As you breathe out, closing your eyes and shutting out the external world. a nice big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, sinking deeper into the mat, into the ground. Nice big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, turning all your attention inward, releasing any external noise down, down, fully focusing internally. And again, taking a moment just to scan your body. Notice any areas that need a little extra love. Bringing awareness to how your body feels right now. Noticing with loving awareness, allowing ourselves to be exactly as we are. And maybe bringing awareness to your emotions, noticing any emotions that might be flowing through you right now. Again, doing this with curiosity and loving awareness, allowing ourselves to be just as we are, knowing that we are enough in any given moment. And really noticing our mental state. Again, allowing that to be just as it is. And our brain operate just as it should, bringing some loving awareness, some kindness to our experience right now. We'll be here for a few moments on our own. Take this time as your own. Allow yourself to surrender as much as you can into this moment. you're not ready to come out of Shavasana, you can just stay right where you are. If you are ready to come out, you can begin to welcome some intuitive movement into your body, perhaps beginning with your feet or your hands, moving your knees or your elbows, unlocking yourself from this position, even stretching your arms above your head, arching your back slightly, fully detaching from this pose. And then when you're ready, slowly rolling over onto one side, pausing there for a moment, just letting the blood flow back to our heart and our brains before we sit up. And last moment of reflection for this session today. And then when you're ready, gently pushing yourself up to seated into that easy seat. We'll go ahead and end our class for today. As always, I'm so grateful for all of you for showing up for yourselves and the people you serve. Um, I really am grateful for all the work that you do. The light in me is a direct reflection of the light in all of you. Thank you all. I hope to see you on Tuesday. Let me know if you need anything. And have a wonderful weekend.